What's up, YouTube fans? Today I'm going to be showing you how to fix FansToys Willis ankles. So a lot of people have this issue, and it's just the way it was made. So you can already see it. Oh, it's so bad. I just bought this actually, by the way. Long story, and I'll tell you while I'm doing this fix of how I finally acquired a FansToys Willis. But both sides are like this. It's just the design. It has nothing to do with the person that sent this to me. You know, they never even transformed it. Oh, so they said they never transformed it, but it was in good shape. It's just this is a part of the design, and I had two others, and they had the exact same problem. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit and how to get that fixed. We're also going to talk about FT-15, which also has this same problem with the loose ankles that cause it to kind of flop over. This one sort of flops back or forward and falls down, and that's the issue with this guy. So while I'm talking about that, I'm also going to be talking about acquiring FansToys Willis. So what you want to do is kind of lay him down, and then there's 3 screws to remove. 1, 2, and then the other one's kind of hiding. So you have to sort of fold this out, get this folded this way, and then that's the 3rd one. Right? So that's how you access all 3 screws. So just get a little screwdriver that fits and start taking those out. So I first bought Willis, let's see, maybe 6 months ago, maybe more than that, and it was advertised as brand new. So basically it was new in package is what the seller said. So I got the item, I opened it up, and it was definitely not new. It had stickers on it. There were broken parts and stuff like that, and I paid, what did I pay? And the prices were outrageous on this guy. They're just crazy. I think I paid $230 for this guy. Now I had a pretty good discount from my eBay account. I had like this coupon. So with the coupon, I got it for $180. So I think it was like a 20 or 30% coupon, something like that. And needless to say, I bought it, got it, it wasn't good, and then I kind of was real disappointed. And I contacted the guy, and so the next thing you want to do, so now that you have this off, now I'll continue my story in a minute. So this panel basically attaches here, and the problem is the screw gets loose over time. So you end up, that joint just ends up getting really loose. And so what you're trying to do is tighten that. So there's a couple things you can do. One is put some floor polish in here. Now I bought Pledge. Some people say buy Future. I don't know if they even make Future anymore. So I just bought like a really high-end version of Pledge, and then I put it in a little dish like this. It's just a little plastic storage dish, but you can put it in whatever. And then this is resealable, so I have a top for it, so I can just close it. And I reuse that, and all the other thing you need is a little Q-tip to dip into the floor polish. And the reason the floor polish is actually the best thing for this is I used to use nail polish, and nail polish is okay, but the problem with nail polish is it can damage the plastic over time. So it actually is semi-caustic, or it can actually lead to the plastic degrading. Whereas this floor polish won't do that. It actually sits on the outside. It wears down over time, so you may need to do this again depending on how often you manipulate the part you're treating. But the good news is it doesn't damage the figure. So you can always take it off if you feel like taking it off, like if you want to, you're selling it or whatever, or if you just need to redo it, you can just scrape it off and put a new coating on. So it just forms this like little layer on it. Just trying to put this back here. Alright, so you want to put some kind of in here around this pin right here, in the pin as well, to help give it a little bit of friction as that joint moves, and just try to make sure you don't get anything on the other side. So you want to put it right around here, and this is the inside, so it's okay if you get a little extra there. It's not gonna look bad or anything. And this dries clear. That's the other reason you want to get this floor polish. It doesn't dry opaque. So people that use super glue or nail polish, it sometimes doesn't dry clear and it doesn't look good. So you want to use this. You might also want to hit this inside of this, but you got to be careful because this is actually an external piece. So if you can hit in there without getting too much on the outside, and this is being covered most of the time anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And this is removable, so it's not a big deal if you miss a little. See, I have a little bit on the outside. That's okay. It's not going to cause a problem. You're just trying to get as much friction as you can, and you want to put some here too. So for the screw, because that's where the screw is going to sit. I'll try to give that screw a little bit of friction. That's all this does. It just creates a little friction and tries to get the joint, whichever joint you're working on, to be a little tighter. So you have to let it dry actually, and that might take a little while. So while we're waiting for that one, set that to the side. And I always put the screws together with the part, so you don't mix and match them. Alright, so continuing on with that story, and you're going to do the same thing on this side, so I'm just going to talk through doing this. So I got that guy and I wasn't happy because, you know, it was kind of broken and he clearly wasn't new, and I paid the price for new. You know, $230 is a lot of money for one of this figure is $100 retail originally. Now the prices shot way up on the third-party market, so you had to pay, you know, a lot more than $100. So, and I was willing to pay a little bit more, but $200 was a lot, and the only reason I got it was because I had that coupon. Otherwise I probably wouldn't have bought it. So I went through the eBay money back guarantee and sent it back and got the money back. And the guy was pissed. For whatever reason, he said I was lying and I was trying to scam him. And I mean, I clearly wasn't. It had stickers like this. And just, I mean, you already know this, but third-party figures don't come with stickers, Autobot stickers, because that would be copyright infringement. So these guys come without any Autobot logos. And it had Autobot logos on it, so I knew it wasn't new, right? It was used. This guy just tried to make more money by selling it new. So I went through the process, I sent it back, and this guy just sent me all these harassing emails saying, oh, you're a scammer, and I'm gonna make sure eBay shuts you down. And by the end of the day, you know, it didn't matter. eBay gave my money back, sided with me. He had to pay return shipping, and he didn't want to pay return shipping, so I had to like call eBay and tell them, hey, he's not paying return shipping. And they sent me return shipping label, and then they made him pay for it, and it worked out in my favor. So that was the first Willis I had, so that went back. Then I bought a second Willis, and that one was like, I think 200, or no, I'm sorry, I think I won an auction for 180. And the problem with that one was, I opened the box, it was good, it was in about the same condition as this guy, you know, it didn't have any stickers, but it had the plastic wrap on this back window. So it was new. It was like, it hadn't even been touched. Like, it had the plastic and the styrofoam wrap on this window, and it was like brand spanking new. And I couldn't bring myself to transform it and to play with it. And I was like, what's the point of having this thing if you're not going to transform it, right? This is a toy. It's meant to be played with. Why am I buying this thing if I'm not going to play with it? So I held on to it for a little bit, and then I saw that the FansToys Willis prices were shooting up higher and higher and higher. So I put it on eBay, and I put it for auction starting at 200, I think, and it sold for 240 or 250. So then I was like, all right, let me just not get this guy. Forget about it. He's too expensive. He's not worth $200. I'm gonna not buy him. But then Takara announced that they were releasing their version of Hound, and all of a sudden, all of these Willises showed up on eBay. And some of them were cheaper, you know, somewhere around 160-ish, 155, 170. So in that range. But I was still not willing to pay that much. I wanted to maybe pay like a little markup. So I'd pay like, I don't know, 30% markup. You know, not including shipping. So I'm just retreating this other first one I did, just because you need a couple layers. And this one's almost dry by the time I get back. So I'm just redoing the areas I did already. Right. So I looked and I found one. I saw an auction, but the auction ended at like midnight or like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I bid on it. I bid 140, I think, and I won it. And so this is what the figure I got, and it had the same problem as all the others, which these ankles, but it's in good condition. You know, it does have stickers on it. The guy did apply stickers, but everything is in working order, and all the accessories are there, and all the instructions are there, and there's no problems with it. So I said, why not? So I got this guy maybe like a month ago, but then I was like, oh my god, these ankles, they suck. And I realized the screws just loosen over time. It's not this particular figure, it's the design of the whole thing, right? It's not this copy. So then I looked up on YouTube how to do this, you know, this fix, and I couldn't find a video anywhere. There was no videos. And I'd read it on the forums that there was a fix for the ankles, but no video. So I'm kind of doing this, you know, I'm winging it a little bit because there is no video available, but I'm pretty sure this is the way to do it. Let's bring out MP10 here for a second. So if you have this guy, you know he's got problems with the ankles. So there's basically 3 screws holding this thing together. This is his foot here, and you basically take those 3 screws off, 1, 2, 3. Pull that off, and then you treat that peg right there all the way around, and you treat inside here, so right where this ends up going inside. Actually, while we're at it, I'll do another round here. So do this other side too. That's the only drawback with using the floor polish, is it's very thin, so you have to kind of do a couple coats, maybe 2 or 3, and you have to let it dry. So you go maybe give it, you know, a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes to dry, and then you got to come back and do another one. But it works. So I guess we'll do Optimus Prime too, since we've got him here. Another thing that you might be able to do while we have it apart anyways, you could treat this one too. This joint right here, that one is also a tiny bit loose. It's not bad. Maybe we'll leave that one alone. But while you have it apart, that's the best time to do it. So if your knee is loose, then this is what you want to treat right here. So let's go ahead and do that. See, I think Willis is, it was one of the first times where we thought, third parties were really going to be making figures that are better than they're official. And not only that is, they can make it pretty quickly. Because Takara take forever. You know, they already announced that they're making this guy, but who knows when it'll ever show up. They take years to release. Obviously their volume is a lot more, right? They make a lot more, but still, it shouldn't be that much time. Alright guys, we're gonna let this dry, and then we'll be right back when it's all done. Alright guys, we're back. We let this dry, and now we gotta put it back together. One thing I forgot to mention is always put the parts in some kind of order, or, you know, better yet, plastic bags or little trays, so you know left and right, you know, where they go. I just kind of put them on the left and right so I could tell where to put them back, but better practice would be to label it or put it in little, you know, shoebox tops. You know, that's sort of like the tray, so you can tell kind of where it goes. And now you have a nice tight joint. It's not moving on its own. That should help it stand a lot better. So this moves, which is a separate thing. So that's really it for that joint. Lost his can in here. We'll just set that aside. So we'll put this one back on off camera. I showed you this one. It's obviously just do the same on this one. And now you can see ankles are not moving. That's what you want to see. Now he stands pretty good. He doesn't flop over or fall over because those ankles are holding on. All right, now we're gonna put Optimus Prime back together here. I didn't show me taking this apart because it's pretty obvious how to do it, and this figure has had this problem for a long time. And just looking here, there's this one long screw that's got to go in the middle, but now you got a really nice, and you can actually hear it squeaking a little bit. That's kind of what you want, because otherwise this guy just flops forward. So we'll get the other one on, and then we'll be done with it. Alright guys, we finished putting the other one on, and now you got nice tight joints. You know, they were definitely loose. It also helps to tighten that screw, but there's only so much you can tighten that, and then it gets to the point where you can't tighten anymore. So when that starts happening to you, it's time to do this fix. But now you've got a figure that doesn't fall over all the time. And same for this guy. This guy, that was his huge weakness. You know, you can kind of poke at him, and he doesn't really fall over, right? Because the ankle is holding the weight. This you can do pretty much for anything. That's really it, guys. I just wanted to show you that those fixes. These guys, they're good figures. They just need a little love in the ankles. So if you have any questions, go ahead, post them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.